What up, gamers? Welcome to a new series. I don't know how to explain this. So, me and the boys, me and my friends, we went and got some books, and I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea. I thought it was an interesting idea to oh, let me get it. Let me get us into the like the menu part of things. 1 second. So this is Under the Sand, road trip simulator. And so it's pretty chill. I have it on like you can have like, let me show you. So in the game you can have like, you can select your own music. I obviously have my own music, which is playing under this. And then actually, will it show it if I do start new game? So you can choose. For some reason I can't change the skin color. It's just I'm a white dude for whatever reason. But that's not the point. It's not the point. I can be like whoever I want. It's whatever. It's close. It's close. And so you can make your own character. That's cool. And so you can do whatever. I'm gonna do this one because everything I'm gonna do is gonna be on the easiest thing. So here, let me pause my other music. Pause my other music because you can hear it. Okay. I'm gonna make it super easy to play because I'm gonna be reading a book to you guys. So I don't know, do with this as you will. I don't want to put it in a podcast. I mean, I guess I could. Reading with Pables or whatever. Reading. Oh, you know what? That would be a better name for the playlist. Hold on. Let me change it. It's a much better name. Oh, can I change it from here? Dang it. Wait, can I? No, I can't. Hold on. Let's see. Playlists. Yeah, let me. Reading with Pables. Reading. Hold on. Oh man. Hold on. Okay. All right, we go here. Go reading with Pables. Then boom, done. Done and done. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. Ayo. What up, Yagiwa? How's it going? W-Giwa. So, all right, that's good. So that's done. Did I save it? Yeah, I did. Cool. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So, now that that's done, let me... So... Here. Turn that off. Okay. So basically, what we have to do is drive in the desert, and I thought the desert was a pretty cool atmosphere for this type of subject. And let's put the... See, I'm not used to this type of format yet, so give me a second. So the thing we're going to be reading is Whole Again. It's like an orange book. I was trying to get a picture of it. Maybe I can download a picture real quick. Whole Again book. I just need... to JPEG. That's all I need right there. And then I go over here, and then I can put the... What is this? Let's see, 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. Oh, that's good. That's good. It is locked though. Let me see. Okay, so that is what the book looks like. All right, not too invasive. And then we have everything on low. Beautiful. All right, how's the music right now? It's all right. I don't think it needs to be too high. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to play, going to read a little bit of stuff, and then whenever I'm done reading, we can talk about it. And then that's it. I mean, this is just basically to make maybe, you know, promote reading. I don't know. Promote psychology and things. Do I have 10? Oh, I have 10% audio. Why is that? It's at 10% and not 100%. Oh, 10 is 100. Interesting. All right, well, it's a quiet game, so whatever. So anyways, I'm going to skip the preamble. There's like a little thing that you can read at before it, and it's called forward. But the part we're going to start at is the feeling in my heart. Oh, I didn't even put the thing. There's the book. That's what the book looks like if you want to pick it up and read along. That's what it looks like. Should we put the author too? Probably, right? The author. One second. I don't know how to do this, okay? I don't know how to do it. Bye. Good? Is that good? Is that too small? Nah, this seems fine. Seems okay. All right. Anyways, let's go. $250 flip your car. This game was always going to be a podcast game or like a chill game, but you know, here we go. The hell? This game is so quiet. All right. First, we're gonna start on the first, like you can hear the actual book. No, you can't. The noise cancellation is destroying it. Okay. So, I'll read the back of it first. In talking with thousands of survivors of abusive relationships, Jack MacKenzie discovered that survivors frequently have symptoms of trauma, lasting long after the relationship has ended. These may include feelings of numbness and emptiness, depression, mood swings, isolation, perfectionism, rumination, caretaking, and people-pleasing, a need for control, physical maladies, substance abuse, and more. That's it. And we're starting in the part where it says the feeling in my heart. The part right before it is like why he's doing it. So, I mean, you guys can fill in the blank there. Anyways, so I don't know how to do this. I feel like it would be easier if there was somebody else reading or playing the game, but whatever, it's fine. At the end of my previous book, Psychopath 3, I described a tight feeling in my arm, or in my heart. It wasn't painful or sharp, just a constant numb squeezing sensation. It started immediately after my first relationship ended, and I felt it for 5 years straight, all day, every day, from the moment I woke up to the second I fell asleep. Therapy and medications didn't touch it. I tried everything: talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, hypnosis, EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing, deep breathing, acupuncture, thyroid tests, endocrinology, special diets, vitamins, herbs, genetic tests, quitting coffee and alcohol. I tried relating to it as a little boy and asked him to stop hugging me so hard. Sometimes I get short bursts of excitement or hope, but nothing lasted. So, I mean, I guess it's also like coming out of a depression, I feel like. All right. What do you guys think? All right. How do I... Let me get on the road too. How do I put stuff away? I don't seem to be able to put stuff away. So I am going to leave that. And we are just going to play with the keys. Because I don't know which keys do what. Alright. So we got to basically build this right here. Cool. Q drop. Drop. Okay. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting experience. I don't know how long the series will go, but I think it will definitely be something that is it's just experimental, honestly. All right, let's go to the next part. Okay. It really bothered me that I couldn't figure it out. Never thought about my first relationship anymore, so what was the problem? I hated the idea of being permanently damaged from my first encounter with romantic love. So I worked extra hard to seem non-damaged. I aced my college courses, found a great job, started a website, started a non-profit organization, and published my first book. Interesting. I mean, most people definitely have the opposite reaction. I mean, me is just, you know, how do I... Oh, it's E, not F. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think most people have the opposite reaction where they're just like thinking a lot about it as it's their fault. I mean, but like, I think relationships aren't really, you know, anyone's fault, really. I mean, there are like people definitely that could have been better and people that have less blame, but fault is it's a construct, really, isn't it? So we got that. Okay. What else is in here? Do I not have wheels, bro? Do I have to find wheels? Kitty. Oh. Pick up. Feed the kitty. Alright. So I own a junkyard, it looks like. This is all metaphorical for my baggage. I am the junkyard. The junkyard is me. The truck is my life. How do I get this over here, though? Oh. Oh. I can just do this. Ah, I see. Left door. Done. Maybe I should have started with a already finished car. That's my bad. Okay, let's finish building this car real quick. Okay. Mirror. Mirror. Radiator. Okay. Cool. Still no, oh, there's the tires right there. 4 tires, let's go. WS. Cool. All right. Now we just need to make sure that we got gas. Now we are good to go. I fill gas up right over here. Okay, that is all of that one. Okay, and then I just drop this here, I guess. Odor oil, air filter, definitely need that. Okay, more gas? Did I do it? I think I did it. Okay, there we go. And action. Do that, and then how do I put this in here? Yeah, no oil. Open the cap. Oh, in there? Ah, I see. Okay. Put the cap back on. Good? Are we good now? I have no engine oil in here now. Maybe I need to... Durability, water 0. Okay, that also does not have enough water. I guess I'm putting this in here. Drop? Oh, that works? That works. Interesting. Do I have a backpack? Oh, I do need the steering wheel. Do need the water. Okay. Anything else in here? Nothing. Okay. We'll get back to the story. Right after I... Yeah. 5 seems okay. That seem okay? I think it does. Drink? I can drink? Nope. I don't have nothing in there. Alright. Put that in there. Grab this. And this hubcap wheel cover. Wheel cover? Oh, I see. Is this really necessary? The wheel cover? I know that this is necessary. Okay, we got that. Got that one. I'm gonna do the 2 front ones because the 2 front ones need it, right? I mean, they all kind of technically need it, but also at the same time. Oh no, green is better. Chrome green. Yes. Ooh, I like it. Am I painting this? Oh, I am. Good. Ooh, yes. Ooh, I like the purple. The purple hood. Oh. No, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. Alright, well. Alright, I gotta go. Alright, Kitty. I'm leaving you the keys to the shop. Make sure that no one comes in here, okay? If they do, kill them. Kill them all. Alright, I think we're good. Do you need more water at some point? This is quite empty. Alright. Let's... Alright. So basically this is just an analogy, right? This is just me. I'm reading the book, trying to get to a better place, both in the game, in real life. We're reading a game, a book about self-improvement or, you know, heartache, something. I think everybody's been there. All right, so where we left off with the book. Book left off saying that there was this feeling of emptiness, right? And I understand that. Like, there was a... How do I get out of park? Can I just throw this in the back seat? Hold on. Can I just throw this in the back seat? Yes, maybe. We'll find out. Find out if that clips into anything. All right. So basically, what he was saying was that I have the keys, right? I do. Oh, interesting. Okay, good. Beautiful. All right, so basically, Maguire's wires. Yes. So, basically what he was saying was that he tried everything, but nothing was making him feel, you know, fulfilled whenever he got out of that relationship. And I can sympathize with that. I mean, some people, whenever they get into relationships, they say that, you know, getting out of the relationship makes everything, you know, the colors are no longer there. You can't really taste anything. I think I watched like a movie about that like recently. Actually, not even too far back, and they were just like, you know, the only thing I really want is her or them, and I was like, yeah, I guess I can see that. Whenever you do so many things together, and you now have that feeling of, you know, distaste. Is that the word? Is that a word? You know, just doesn't feel quite right, you know? It's the most quiet desert I've ever been to. And I like that this game doesn't really tell me anything. It's just like, oh, you're in. I am actually going to turn down the audio to 8, maybe 7. Oh wait, did it save? It might not have saved. No, it did. Cool. All right. So we'll get to a new place and then we'll get the next thing. So I don't think I can go that way for obvious reasons, but I think I can go right. And how much gas do I have? I have about half. About half. Think there's anything in there? Let's go. Then we'll read a new passage of the book. Okay. I continued pouring myself into my work and the website. I wrote 2 more books. I woke up every morning at 6 a.m. to write, energized and excited to prove myself to the world. I went on dates and humbly described myself as a list of accomplishments. I think that's true. I think people definitely, you know, at a certain point want to press people, and it's all the only thing they can really do is list off things that they've done. Which, I mean, I guess is valid, but it shouldn't be. I mean, it really isn't who you are, right? Even if you've done nothing, it doesn't mean that you are nothing. It just means that you haven't wanted to, or whatever reason you have, right? I think. When people complimented my success, I would blush and feel a burst of approval. And so I accomplished more things. I redesigned our entire website, spending months obsessively customizing it to be perfect for our members and staff. We went live with the changes and everyone loved them. I felt a burst of approval, but it didn't last long. So it's a fleeting feeling. The feeling was still there. I started spending a lot of time on my own, intentionally isolating myself so I could be with my imagination. You know, I feel like the lo-fi isn't what I should be doing. I feel like it should be like country, maybe. Country, calm, dark, dramatic, sad. Maybe just sad. Nope. so loud, bro. It's still so loud. There we go. Good. This is calm, apparently. We'll see how it goes. Alright. Started spending a lot of time on my own, intentionally isolating myself so I could be with my imagination during the summers. I spent nearly every evening out by the water, drinking wine alone, watching the sunset, and dreaming of a new book ideas. I imagined characters and plot twists, which slowly shifted into more grandiose fantasies. Saw myself waging an important battle between bad people, psychopaths, in parenthesis, and good people. In quotation, this part is in quotations. People like me, of course. I laughed whenever I heard that. I was like, of course you think you're the good guy. I imagined a perfect partner appearing someday to rescue and love me. And I think a lot of people definitely have that thought that, you know, there's going to be that perfect person. I mean, even I have that same thought sometimes. Oh, 10 out of 10. Let's go. Even I have that thought sometimes, like, oh, you know what? Just gotta wait a little bit and boom, they'll be right there. Is there not like a gas station that I go to or something? But yeah, it's just like absurdism. I think there's not, whenever you give it that narrative, I think it's probably not healthy to think that somebody will just come in and, you know, swoop you off your feet and that's all you need, right? I mean, sometimes it does happen, but I don't think it's realistic to think that that's always going to happen, right? I think having a realistic, like, there are going to be problems at some point, and makes those problems easier to deal with if you think that that person is a real person. Did I do it? Uh-oh. Okay, I did it. I just wasn't holding it long enough. Yeah, I definitely think that that is one of the biggest killers of the age, the new age of dating, you know? Or I mean companionship, really, even friendships. You think that people can't, some people think that you can't make mistakes or anything. And I don't think that's true. I don't think you can really give anything that narrative. Because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. I wonder how dynamic the day and night cycle is. Anyways, we gotta go. We don't have much to go on, or we don't have much food to last us, so I mean, it's fine. I'm not really worried about the gameplay. That's why I'm playing this game. I'm like, you know, there's not a lot. I mean, ideally next time I should try and get maybe somebody to play, then I read. Feels like the farther I go, the just going to stop and read a little bit more. We'll read a couple pages this time. Okay, and so this is right after he said that he was hoping somebody would just swoop in and, you know, rescue him and love him. The feeling was still there. Don't worry. Everyone said time heals all wounds. That clearly wasn't happening. In fact, by any normal person or sane person's standards, it was getting much worse. But I didn't notice. I was too busy trying to prove I was happy. My therapist diagnosed me with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and avoidant personality disorder, AVPD. But that didn't mean anything to me. I was totally fine except for that feeling in my heart. I had already analyzed and understood everything about my first relationship. The problem was external, not internal. Then the hypervigilance set in. On the streets, I started noticing when people were walking too close behind me. Even if they were far away, I'd stop and move aside so that they could pass. In the supermarket, it felt like the world was closing in on me. Why did everyone need to be in the way with their stupid carts? And how about them police sirens? Why do they need to be so loud? Why couldn't everybody just go away and leave me to my fantasies? Anxiety and depression came next. Insomnia woke me up early in the morning to repeated nightmares of a masked man hunting me down. For long, I couldn't even breathe correctly. My imagination started to flood with the worst fears. A relentless barrage of terrifying thoughts and images. I remember at a particularly low moment, I said to my mom, I don't feel like a person anymore. She gave me a book about mindfulness called The True Refuge by Tara Brach. Tarabrack, or Brach. I like Bach, but Brock. She had recommended books like this to me before, but I knew mindfulness and meditation wouldn't help me. Those things were for people... I hate it when they do this. Those were for people with mental problems. My problem was physical feeling in my body. Right. Buddy didn't know anything about nothing. Mindfulness couldn't fix a physical problem. She had earmarked a page, so I decided to just read that one page, and there it was, a story about a woman who described constant tight feeling in her heart. After all the doctors and therapists who gave me bewildered looks and best diagnosis, here was a book describing exactly what I felt. I devoured the whole thing in a few days and ordered several other books on the same topic. This was the beginning of a very rocky year-long journey. A lot of people in these books said forgiveness is the key to the heart. So that's where I decided to start. I was in the frenzied excitement finally. A new hope to get rid of my heart feeling. I began enthusiastically declaring everything wrong with myself and inventing soft qualities in my ex that didn't actually exist. I tried to welcome him into my heart and got very frustrated with myself for failing. My forgiveness theme was, see, I'm bad too. The more energy I devoted to forgiving this way, the more I felt this horrible sensation tear through my heart. It was intolerably painful. It woke me up in the middle of the night. A relentless feeling that said, you are bad. You need to admit you are bad. Everything you do is bad. What in the world was happening? I thought forgiveness was supposed to get rid of the hard feeling, not make it worse. Not again! Not again! I assumed the scary you are bad feeling was the truth because it was so strong. It forcefully convinced me it was the ultimate truth. and that I needed to listen to it, convinced me that anything else was just me fooling myself by this point. I actually desperately longed for the old, tight, numb feeling in my heart. Numbness was better than this. But it was too late. The feeling was uncontrollable and consuming. Without my hatred of the person who hurt me, all my boundaries were destroyed. I was filled with self-doubt and fear. I had no idea who I was. All I knew was that I was wrong and had needed and bad. I was wrong and bad and needed to admit it. So 3 ands. Crazy. I felt inadequate, shameful, and afraid. It took me quite some time to realize that this horrible, unbearable sense of bad self wasn't my tightness getting worse. It was an old emotion wound, unnumbing itself. The sensation wasn't new to me. I remembered it 5 years ago, right after my relationship ended. And the more time I spent feeling it, the more I began understanding why it got numbed out in the first place. Should we just do no music? I feel like that might be better. It might be, because I'm constantly talking, right? You wouldn't even be able to hear it anyways. Okay. I'm just reading a book on the side of the road. Fine. Chill. Chill vibes. Chill vibes. Alright. Our bodies are built for survival. This feeling was completely self-destructive. And the more time I spent feeling it, the more I began to understand why it got numbed out in the first place. The feeling was completely self-destructive. Our bodies are built for survival, so it makes sense that my body shut this feeling down since I didn't have any emotional tools to heal it. This time, instead of running from it, or pretending it was good, or distracting myself, I decided to stay. I stayed for 6 months. I stopped writing, backed away from my website, and stopped taking on new projects. Instead, I dedicated every morning and night to meditation and prayer. My mindset shifted from how do I get rid of this feeling to what is this feeling? Instead of hating the heart feeling, I found myself holding my hand over my heart when I walked to work each morning. I was changing the relationship that I had with myself. Interesting. Feelings and my body. This nurturing process slowly taught me how to care and love again. Forgiveness was the natural byproduct of this process. There is a new feeling in my heart these days. It's not numb, it's not tight, and it's not intolerable pain. It's a flood of light, tingly energy that runs through my body like a river and calms everything. My old truth of bad self has been replaced with a new truth, that we are all worthy and capable of love, even if we can't feel it yet. My inner source of joy and peace has been restored, and all of the other strange personality transformations have melted away. My sense of humor has returned. Food tastes good again. I can cry freely. I'm smiling in my pictures, and I love being around people. I'm not trying to be some perfect, nice person. I'm just being regular, old, annoying self. I can practically feel my heart calling out and dancing. At long last, this is in parentheses, by the way. At long last, we have found each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wrote this book for anyone struggling with perfectionism, codependency, attachment disorders, personality disorders, trauma, or the aftermath of an abusive relationship. Over the past few years, over private message and video chat, I've conversed with people suffering with these conditions. I checked in every few months to ask some questions and follow their progress. With their permission, I have shared their stories here. Names and specific details have been modified to protect privacy. I hope their experiences can offer you insight and hope. You have been trying So hard for so long, I know. None of this is your fault, but you are the only one who can do the hard work to change it. There is a way back to yourself, to the freedom you seek, and we're going to find it. Nice. All right, and then it's the next chapter is introduction. So let's get to the next part of our journey, and then we can talk a little bit about it. Okay. What do you guys think? I like the perfectionism part. Giving yourself the room to make mistakes is definitely a hard one. Definitely a hard one to make yourself, to be okay with yourself making mistakes. Because, you know, in school, like, especially school, you're taught mistakes are not tolerable, you know? Or like you shouldn't be okay with it because you're always striving to be this perfect thing. At least that's what I got from it. It's just you're always striving to be this perfect thing. And I don't think that's really fair to anyone, really. To think that you don't need to, or that you have to be perfect all the time, every day, all day, and you can't make a mistake. You have to do the right thing. You can't ever come back from it if you don't do the right thing. As much as, you know, the books and everything tell you, it's okay to make mistakes. Oh, you know what? Let's see, durability can be installed on the stock rim. Okay. I think everything is pretty much good. I wonder if I can sell this stuff. Let's grab this. Put this in here. But yeah, I think if you guys are struggling with the perfectionism part, of not being able to do something immediately, I know that's a definite problem. Most people have, where they aren't able to do something perfect, or, you know, comparison is also really bad to do, because when you compare yourself and your successes to, you know, somebody that maybe is rich by the time that you are, like, whatever age you are, or whatever you're in, right? When you compare yourself to what other people have, it's really not good. It's the opposite of progress. I'm always interested to see what people think about perfectionism. Like, it's gotta suck to want to be. I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't tried to be perfect. It's one of the reasons why I don't like trying all that much, is because I know that the amount of effort to try and be perfect, it just doesn't really have, like, what is it, the diminishing returns factor plays in. It's like, I could do this perfect, but also, you know, who cares? Right? Why am I doing it perfect? For my own self, or am I doing it for something? I mean, if I'm doing it for something and it actually matters, then sure. But if it's like for nothing, and just like the good of, the good of everything, right? The good, you want to do it because it's good. That's what people want. Like, I don't know. I have a problem with that. So, let's move on to the introduction part of the story. We're gonna need to eat at some point. Hopefully we find some food other than the cans of beans and stuff we have in the back of the truck here. So, introduction. And right under it says fracture. So, human wholeness is often defined as the unity of mind, body, and spirit. Emotional abuse, rejection, and trauma fracture this union because a false shame message gets stored in our body that disconnects us from the sense of being unconditionally loved. Here's how it happens. So step 1, you start out joyful and whole, able to be freely, quotations, and receive love, able to freely love and, quote unquote, receive love, or parenthesis rather. This is how we all start out. Some people don't ever recall feeling like this, and that's okay. Yeah, I guess different childhoods and, different messages. Some people don't get that even starting point. And if you do, just, know that it's not everyone does. Step 2, you experienced betrayal, trauma, abandonment, judgment, or rejection from a loved one, a trusted loved one. There is considerable emotional chaos, a loss of control. Step 3, a false internal shame conclusion is formed from the external experience of step 2. I am defective and somehow caused this to occur because I am entered whatever you want. It gives some examples: inadequate, worthless, crazy, etc. This belief of your inner defectiveness blocks you from your true self, your inner source of life and joy, the sense of being unconditionally loved. This separation is extremely painful. And then quotations or parenthesis. This is also called the core wound, the false core, the narcissistic wound, or toxic shame. So I'm guessing, depending on your, chemicals maybe, and or upbringing, determines on what you get out of that. What type of wound it is. What malady. Step 4. In order to protect you from being consumed by this pain, your body numbs it away. Parenthesis. In the heart, stomach, throat, pelvis, and the like. This can manifest in emptiness, boredom, numbness, tightness, voids, aching, and more. Step 5. A protective self takes over to disprove and distract from the pain. Its primary purpose is control and avoidance, to keep you numb and prevent the same pain from occurring. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Unable to generate joy from the true self, the protective self relies heavily upon external measures of worth to keep itself alive. It is, quote unquote, who you are. How you view the world, even the lens through which you approach healing. Parenthesis. This is also called false self or the ego, end parenthesis. The root, I'm going to try and remember how to read out loud so that you guys know where the parenthesis and quotes end, because it doesn't make sense sometimes. So, the root of so much emotional trauma and resulting behavior is the unresolved message living in the body. Consciousness and subsequently blocking our ability. Whatever. Consciousness and subsequently blocking our ability to attach and experience genuine love. Everything else described in this book, parenthesis, neurosis, personality transformations, black and white thinking, mood swings, anxiety, attachment issues, depression, and parenthesis. This all stems from the core wound. So I guess whatever you get from that experience is going to... I'm trying to also say it back to you guys so that I know that I'm paying attention. And then maybe you get your own thing. You get your own meaning out of it. So basically what the thing is saying, I think, is that you get your own... Oh. Get your own thing. Your depression, your self-ego. You build something off of that integral part of yourself. Do I have stuff? Oh. Did you do that? Okay. Put that back on. That in there. And I think that's fair, right? You guys think that's fair? To assume that someone will get some sort of personality from a big event of some sort, like losing a love of sorts, a part of your life is a portion of grieving, is what people say. Pills here. Pick up. Can I pick this up? Pick up. Why do I have this? Oh, heal. I can die? Hell. What the heck? Can I put stuff in my glove box? Oh, I can do that? Oh, let's go. WS. How much water do I have? We got all the water in the world. I don't know how we can do this. Okay. Anyways, these are just like music tapes, lo-fi and chill. Yeah. Pretty cool. But let's keep reading. Okay. And most of my early work... Okay, yeah. Most of my early work focused on the behaviors and symptoms of sociopathy and pathological narcissism in order to help victims of toxic relationships identify and protect themselves from abuse. This helped people identify the causes of their suffering, but it didn't help them resolve their suffering. So, yeah, I guess that's true. You do also need to figure out how to get rid of, the pain. It's like putting a bandage over something that needs something else, Don't know if I need these two, but I'm going to take them. Then we'll eventually get to this at some point. Okay, next part. Traumatized individuals complain about strange sensations in their body: numbness, tightness, emptiness, nothingness, hollowness, unable to describe or understand these feelings. They go to therapy and tend to focus on the resulting behavioral and psychological issues: people-pleasing, depression, perfectionism, mood swings, isolation, excessive daydreaming, need for control, resentment, rumination, caretaking, substance abuse. The list goes on, and it's unique to each individual. Recovery becomes more about symptom management than root cause resolution. It's akin to putting out buckets of water every night to catch the leaking rain, rather than fixing the hole in the roof. Eventually the buckets become full, so you're running around finding new buckets and emptying old buckets, feeling more exhausted with every passing day. This is the nature of trauma. It keeps you distracted with bucket management, so you never have a chance to look up at the hole in the roof. This is not your fault by any means. At some point, some point you locked your feelings away because they were too painful and intolerable to experience at the time. Your true self is still there. It's just cloaked by obscure, frustrating sensations like numbness or emptiness or boredom. Those things may feel impossible to work with, but this book suggests that those sensations are actually the key to becoming whole again. So the feeling is a sign that there is something there, is what I'm getting. And that bucket, the bucket analogy was super, super nice. So I don't really need this. This is just extra, I guess. Don't know. Do I need to keep that? Yeah. All right. All right, this place is cooked. Let's go. Off we go. Yeah, I mean, it's so far it's good. It's something I do feel sometimes, like, you know, whenever people, I don't know, do you ever think about, like, when people are like out on dates or whatever, you're like, ugh, disgusting. I don't think that's a good thing. Because there's like, I mean, it's not that rough. It's just, you know, I don't know. I think it's just a bitterness to people. I mean, and people aren't innately going to, you know, be like, oh, I really want to mess this up. Like, oh man, I can't wait to like destroy this other person's life with all of my trauma I'm about to give them. But like, you know, there's the societies that we live in. Is that there? Oh, looks like a dude over there. We're gonna go that way before we do any of this. But the society that we live in doesn't really teach you how to be with another person or respect that other person, or, you know, I mean, you could say like there's parental figures and stuff, but there's not really anything like that. There's not really like a class or something, or at least if there is, you know, I didn't know about it. Maybe like private schools do that. I have no clue. But as far as I know, the general populace does not have that. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I'm gonna get on top of the roof here. Then I'll read the next page. Can I get up there? Is there a way to get up there? Maybe. Maybe not, though. Feels like there... Oh, yeah, there is a way. Let's go. WS. Okay. Actually, let's get a better angle of this area. Okay. Read next page. Alright. So... that's not where I left off. I was on the left side. Okay, there it goes. So, as I shared my writing in various communities devoted to abuse recovery, codependency, CPTSD, which stands for complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and even cluster B disorders, which is borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder. Hundreds of individuals reached out to share their stories and experiences with me. I began to realize that despite our unique stories, there were some unmistakable patterns to our suffering. if we shared suffering, I thought that said S at the end. Perhaps we also shared a path to freedom. Or maybe, I don't know. Everyone's path will be different. Mine involved a combination of mindfulness, therapy, and spirituality. I studied mindfulness from psychologists and authors like Tara Brach. I also explored the concept of core wounding from philosophers around the world, like Stephen Wolinski, PhD, and Leslie Temple Thurston. I don't know who any of these people are, but I do like psychology and philosophy. So this is going to be interesting. When I began to share what worked for me, I found that it resonated with nearly every person who reached out to me, even people with afflictions completely different from mine. I also found that the same techniques worked for them, which is why I decided to write this book. In Psychopath Free, which is a book that this author wrote, I wrote about how I felt like I had been, quote unquote, disconnected from my true self, end quote. I had no idea what that had meant at the time or how to go about reconnecting, quote unquote. And I wasn't alone. One of the most common phrases I hear from trauma survivors is, quote, I miss my old self, end quote. The person who felt cheerful, loving, and fun. Damn. Read me like a book. But what if the old self hasn't actually gone anywhere? What if we just have some very stubborn messages living inside of us that block us from experiencing it? When we're hungry, we eat food. When we're out of shape, we go to the gym. When we're tired, we go to sleep. But for some reason, when we're feeling unlovable, we analyze ourselves to death until we feel worse. The more logical solution, of course, would be to offer ourselves love. But what if we don't know how? What if trauma and shame are blocking us from letting love inside? What if our emotions have been numbed out to protect us? What if a traumatic experience fractured our connection with our true selves? Without love's soothing comfort and kindness, we're bound to stumble over and over again. We experience the world differently. Love becomes conditional, waiting for others to show their cards before we show our own. We think if someone loves us completely, parenthesis, or whatever other external fixation we have, end parenthesis, we'll finally feel content. But even when we get whatever we want, it's not enough. It's never enough. Love is replaced by attention, vulnerability by validation, and affection by approval. Damn. I don't know if you guys were thinking about that, but like, damn. It is true. It's true. I've definitely felt that. Did I come to? I'm reading a book while also playing a game. So it's not gonna be funny jokes most of the time. I mean, I will make jokes, but it's mostly gonna be just reading. So, oh, sorry. I didn't know it was reading time. Yeah, it was. We're gonna be reading, analyzing this book. I don't know, just to promote, reading. Because I feel like, oh, also, this is a really big topic to talk about. The healing of oneself, to reconnect and become, who you think you are, or who you really are. So what, reading class all over again? Maybe. Windshield. I don't have a windshield? Oh, bro, I didn't have a windshield this whole time. That's crazy. That there. Put this in here. Alright, this place is good. Let's go to the next place. But yeah, I've definitely done that, where attention is... I don't know if I can do that. This looks worse. This looks worse than not having a thing here. That's crazy. It's fine though. We'll get to the next part here in just a minute. But I think it's super true to bounce from a piece of attention to another piece of attention. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let's read the next part. All right. Okay, so next part is, but what if the old self hasn't actually gone anywhere? What if we have just stubborn messages? Okay. Okay, we read all that. Without love's soothing comfort and kindness, we're bound to stumble over and over again. Yep. Yep. When love flows freely from within, our infinite source is restored, and all other behavioral anomalies melt away. Okay. Do this by working backwards from the steps I listed at the beginning of the introduction, which is exactly what we'll do in this book. You may fear that you are too far gone or too broken to recover, but the truth is, anyone can become whole again. This book is asking you to take a leap of faith, to trust in something you can't feel yet. What a beautiful poem, did you? Yes, I did. So what is the book all about? The book is that's exactly what the book is about. The book is about becoming yourself again. To basically try and get rid of those stories that you tell yourself, that you're not good enough, that you'll never be good enough, that you're you know, not worthy of whatever it is. And I think it's a cool book. So far it's interesting, but we will continue. Are you going to make me cry in the middle of the night? I don't think so. I mean, it just depends on what you think of the book, really. It's like whatever you take out of it. We need to get to the next area because I am going to die of starvation. It's over here. It's a big rock. So I become corrupted, most wanted man in the blacklist again. I don't know if I want to be that guy again. Right. This is exactly, I mean, too late. It's gonna happen. What happens if we run out of gas? Actually don't know. There is a spot over here. All right, well, let's read the next part of the book. All right, so this is the next chapter right here. This is part 1, I guess chapter 1, basically, called Tools. And under that, daily practice. So, there is no quick fix for this. There is no quick fix for this work. It requires dedication and commitment to daily practice, even when it feels like you're getting nowhere. These wounds are not resolved by recalling a one-time aha buried memory like we see in the movies. It's not about searching your memories, but instead feeling your feelings. But your true feelings have been dormant for so long that you need to actually change the way your brain is wired in order to experience them. You cannot think or analyze your way into emotions. To make this shift, you have to start changing old patterns and habits. This does not simply happen overnight. It takes months or years of changing the channel. With time, this practice becomes more and more automatic until it is your new default. Yeah, I feel like unlearning things is much harder than learning new things, because you can learn new things all you want, but you will have that default, and that's a good thing to say. And it's okay if you're not able to do the new like practices all the time, but you need to forgive yourself for doing that. At least that's what I'm telling you. So what type of idea did it let you start doing this? The basic idea is that I bought this book, right? And I wanted to read it, and I wanted to get people's feedback about it. And you can tell me in the comments if you want. Tell me what you think it means, because I could read it and it means something completely different. And I study better if I'm with other people trying to figure out the same thing. I need to eat. Hold on. Let me get this. Oh. And this is like, I was going to play this with Candy, but Candy didn't think that they'd have fun with this, so you know, it's whatever. You know, it's not forever, everyone. My feedback is this stinks. Well, I mean, this isn't going to be a thing for everybody, but this will be something that you can listen back to. Okay, so page 2 of the first part. Think about it like learning a new language. Can you learn a foreign language in a month? I can't. I took Latin for 6 years and I can barely remember 2 words. Fortunately, this experience is much more rewarding than learning Latin, but it does take a while, and it involves activating parts of your brain and body that have not been used in a long time. Parenthesis, if ever, end parenthesis. So please be patient with yourself. You wouldn't be expected to pass the final exam of advanced Latin on your first day of class. A bad day doesn't mean you're a hopeless failure. You're a hopeless failure. Failure is what it means. It's what it says. Just like an F on the quiz doesn't mean you won't pass the class. If you fail or stumble along the way, a good teacher would offer you special care to help you better understand the material. In this case, you need to become the good teacher. So you need to have patience with yourself. This is truly nice. Beautiful. Even the sunset makes it more beautiful. Yeah, that's why I chose this. So I chose this game. I was like, you know, we're stuck in the desert trying to find ourselves while crawling through the desert in a truck. What else could it be? Okay, next part. I can't offer overnight solutions to complex emotional issues, and I'd be wary of anyone who claims they can. What I can offer are tools, perspectives, resources, and practices that slowly start to modify the mind's old habits. Eventually, the discomfort in the body will follow, opening up and releasing so you can find freedom. Even though this takes a considerable amount of time, the one thing I can promise is a light at the end of the tunnel. Not just a makeshift workaround for symptom management, but actually feeling good at your core. My goal here is to meet classic psychology with a few alternative concepts. Core wounding, the protective or false self, love and mindfulness. Complex emotional trauma and shame have strange but predictable methods of operation. So basically we're mixing psychology and spirituality, I think. Trying to find out the inner gorilla in us. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Let me get to another place here. Can I go up this? Oh, I can. Let's go. W us. All right. Let's read the next part. where is it? I really need to keep a little bookmark. I have the receipt here. Okay, where is it? Okay, with enough practice and dedication, we can crack these tricky defenses and get to the root of conditions that have previously been declared, quote unquote, uncurable, or quote unquote, hopeless. During this work, if you experience any intolerable emotions, triggers, anxieties, or depression, please immediately seek professional help. We're going to be exploring uncomfortable sensations, and therapists can be invaluable resources in guiding you through that darkness. So I personally have had a little bit of therapy, and I've figured that, you know, I'm not perfect. I mean, I've always not thought that. I've thought that I've had the personal experience of knowing that I'm not perfect, but forgiving myself for not being perfect. Which is what I was saying earlier, is that no one is perfect. You need to give yourself room to learn. Peak book. So how long will this stream be? I don't know. Until I get tired, I guess. You know what? I should probably... Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some water. Give me 1 second. I'll leave you guys with this sunset. Be right back. 1 second. Okay, I forgot my water in the other room. Okay. Here we go. Alright, second piece here. Alright, so this next piece is called mindfulness. In order to get started, we need to learn how to get comfortable with discomfort. Mindfulness is not about clearing your thoughts, but simply noticing what's going on in a non-judgmental way. Identifying our own behaviors and habits is one of the most difficult things to do, because our behaviors are so familiar to us that they seem normal. For example, perfectionists might notice, quote unquote, or quote, wow, I'm so normal. Wait, I'm so judgmental and controlling all the time. What a nightmare. I really should stop doing that and start being nicer. I really do that all the time. I think that I should be nicer all the time. Wow, you're so normal. Fetch me there. So pause the game in case something happens. No, nothing happens. The only thing I'm really doing is getting this truck to wherever we're going. I don't know if there is an end to this game. I don't think there is. I think it just goes on and on forever. Your water. Yeah, I think the water is gonna be the death of me, but I mean, we could just restart. It's not really a problem. Alright. So, let's see here. Alright. Where was I? Oh, what a nightmare, yeah. I really should stop doing that and start being nicer, but haven't yet noticed how harsh they're being with themselves in this interaction. That's what a perfectionist does. They say that they're bad at this thing, they're doing this thing too much. They should be better, but not seeing that they're being too judgmental or harsh, which only lowers their self-worth and makes them more judgmental. To offer another example, codependents might enthusiastically jump into forgiveness only to become angry with themselves. Which codependent is like you need somebody else to validate you, as far as I understand it. Maybe they'll give you a better example. You need to be hydrated, drink and drive more faster, way to have more fun. I don't think that's true, so let's not do that. Okay. For failing. Okay. What was the beginning of the thing? It was to offer another example. Codependents might enthusiastically jump into forgiveness only to become angry with themselves for failing to forgive someone who treated them like garbage. For failing to forgive someone who treated them like garbage. Put another way, they're willing to forgive others, but they're not able to forgive themselves for their own feelings. Mindfulness helps us become aware of our default thinking patterns, so we can start to realize how we think. The goal is not to try to stop thoughts or feelings we don't like, but instead to allow them to be there, without judging, changing, or avoiding them. This lets you build a friendly, curious relationship with the stuff going on inside your body and mind, even the stuff that feels awful. The challenge with fear-based thinking is that our minds go into the super rigid, analytical thinking mode, which causes more of the same thinking. Sort of like an infinite loop. So we say, quote, stop it, nasty thoughts, end quote. And then get frustrated or afraid when they don't stop, which just leads to more nasty thoughts. Being gentle, kind, patient, and compassionate with the weird thoughts, like you would with a friend, starts to relax everything. It breaks the feedback loop. And if you try to be nice to yourself, you're met with a voice that says, quote, this is stupid. It's fake. You're just doing this to try to avoid the actual truth that you're bad, end quote. Then you can welcome that voice too. The more comfortable you become with discomfort, the more discomfort will reveal itself to you. So, by being okay with your negative self, not accepting what it's saying, is not all bad, because you then get to identify what's wrong. Stop it, nasty one. Yeah. Oh, look, I got some food. Let's go. WS. So then you can work on yourself more and then stop that from happening in the future. So super, super good advice so far. I mean, as far as I can tell. Seems to be some sort of dust storm in here. Can we go inside and take refuge for the night? I'll stand by the fire. Let's look outside. Okay. Just stand right here. Trying to frame it good. Well, whatever. Alright. All I'm getting is eat, wake up, help others, sleep, wake up, eat, help others, sleep, wake up. Yeah. Got it. No, I mean, it's more than that. It's, you need to know when it's time to help yourself and forgive yourself for not noticing and things like that, you know? To know that it's okay to be a human. Alright, next part. A lot of times there is some part of us that feels defective or crazy or evil, so we hide this from friends, family, or even therapists. Because if other people think we're good, then we believe we're good. It's like going to the gym and pretending to work out so that people will think you're physically healthy. It's really that point. That's so funny. Oh, me? Oh, please, I can't even help my inner gorilla. I prefer helping others than me. I think everybody does. Makes them feel good for a time, but it's the hardest part. It's the hardest part to help yourself. And this is, I think, what the point of the book is to figure out when you need to help yourself. Because, again, there's a hole in the roof, but you keep just going for the bucket instead of fixing the roof. You know? Alright, so continuing this part. With mindfulness, it's important that we're 100% honest with ourselves and the strange behaviors or thoughts that we push away. Remember, everything is welcome. You do not want to have, or you do not have to pretend to feel good or normal when there is a voice nagging you that you're not. In fact, that is the voice that you need to get in touch with. Various people or experiences might trigger this feeling of inner defectiveness. So you try to seem normal and unaffected by it because you want to be normal. But that is exactly the feeling we want to explore. This work is not about keeping up appearances or securing external validation. It's not about stifling or distracting from those scary inner voice, that scary inner voice, but rather welcoming it so that we can finally explore and disarm it. As we start to understand, it's dark in here. As we start to understand our behaviors, there are going to be really difficult, painful feelings that surface. These feelings will take over and convince you that they are truth. Mindfulness will allow you to acknowledge that they are real, but not necessarily true, so that you can continue walking through this pain without being consumed by it or distracting yourself from it. You are essentially developing a friendly, curious relationship with your own feelings. Parenthesis. Especially the quote-unquote bad ones. In parenthesis. Interesting. I don't wish to be happy. I wish happiness for others like you or others. Right. But think of this. There was a movie I watched called Stranger Than Fiction, and there was a line that I really liked from the movie. Oh wait, I can rest? Let's go. But there was a line in the movie where Will Ferrell says to this girl that he's dating, he says that, oh, I gotta get up. Oh, get up. Eat. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Eat. Hold on. Chill. Water. Pineapple. Nope. WS. Energy drink. Right. And then put this in there. All right. So there was a part in Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell. And he says, let me give you a little bit of a backstory, right? So he's an IRS agent. And he likes this girl. And some stuff happens, and he basically says that, well, she's trying to make the world a better place by she gives to charities, she does all this stuff. But it's Will Ferrell's job in that movie to take her down, right? And he said, I'm trying to make the world a better place too. And I think that means keeping you out of jail, which doesn't sound like much, but he's acknowledging that her part is tied to his part. Like, so what I'm saying is that you yourself can play a different part. Maybe not the part that you thought, but you do play a part in life. You are an important aspect, because if it was someone else, not Will Ferrell's character, I feel like the story could have been different, right? Could have been worse. Something, she could have immediately went to jail or something. And that's what I mean. You yourself can affect someone else's story. So by helping yourself, you are helping other people. You get to help other people. That makes sense. How do I get this over here? Let's go. Anyways, we need to get out of here soon because we're going to run out of food. Baked beans. Spray can. Ooh, chrome yellow. Oh, money. Anyways, let's. Ooh, cats. I do need that. Let's go. WS. Read. Okay. I'll read in a minute. Let me just get to a good spot here. All right. Let me pause it because I'm running low. All right. Where were we? We were. Okay. Getting in touch with the uncomfortableness, various people. Yeah. Disarmament. Okay. Yes. Okay. So as we understand our own behaviors, there are going to be really difficult, painful feelings that surface. These feelings will take over and convince you that they are the truth. Mindfulness. Oh, right. So we need to get in touch with even the bad thoughts. I often see mindfulness and meditation approached in this way. Quote, I'm thinking of kittens and rainbows, healing and processing my past, loving my inner child. It's also so beautiful, I'm crying, end quote. But then this horrible feeling starts creeping in. Hold on. And the sufferer thinks, quote, what the heck? What the Sigma? I was doing mindfulness. Why am I feeling worse? End quote. Because what's inside is not kittens and rainbows. It is an unbearable sensation that we have subconsciously been avoiding since the moment it entered our bodies. Language helps us to identify the feelings that come up in mindfulness. If you're suffering from trauma or psychological disorders, there's a good chance that you don't even know. Wait, where is it? I just lost it. Dang it. That there's a good chance that you don't even feel your true emotions because you're being blocked from experiencing them. You know how some people have repressed memories that come out in therapy? Think of these as repressed feelings. By learning about these emotions, preparing ourselves to feel them, they won't be nearly as scary. Slowly we make the transformation from, quote, my body feels numb or weird, end quote, toward using language to identify the actual feelings. Feelings are a lot more complicated than happy or sad. When it comes to complex trauma or personality disorders, parenthesis, in oneself or a loved one, end parenthesis, I can pretty much guarantee you'll be getting closely involved with the following feelings. So these are the feelings that you'll start to feel whenever you ask yourself those things. Read my comment to understand the two comments. Read the first comment. Read the first comment to understand the two comments. I know what should be happening. I read that. With the Sigma, I feel blue? For real. L ratio to my depression? Skibbity sad. That's so real. Based. Okay. Let me reread this part. So when it comes to complex trauma and personality disorders in yourself or loved ones, I can pretty much agree that you'll be getting closely involved with the following feelings. Inadequacy. Example. Or I'll say the word and then it'll be the definition or whatever. Inadequacy. You are not enough. Others are better than you. Rejection. You and your feelings are unwanted. Unlovable. No one could love you as you are. Fear. Someone, parenthesis, or something, in parenthesis, is dangerous or harmful. Resentment. Indignation at having been treated unfairly. Jealousy. Envy about someone else's success or happiness. Worthlessness. You have no real value and are deserving of contempt. Guilt. You've done something wrong or bad. Shame. You, quote unquote, or parenthesis, or your feelings, end parenthesis, are wrong or bad. Powerlessness. You have no ability, influence, or control over a situation. Emptiness. You are not real. Something is missing. You do not exist. Crazy. Bro, read the comment above. I don't wish for habit is please for you to stand the comments. I did read it. You just, I don't think heard me. I mean, I don't feel joy helping others. I don't feel the hero for them. I just want to help others feel special, have more joy than me. Personally, I don't feel important. I feel useless. Well, that is what we're getting into today. That is what we're getting into. But we need to get to the next part because I'm going to die. This is crazy. I honestly don't think I need to even keep these because, oh, that's dead. Oh, stop. We have gas, right? Okay. Drop that. Can I put this in here? Okay. All right. Drop that. Drop that. Grab that. And start the car. W, ignoring your families that put you in jail. Classic. Oh, wait. We didn't even check out the other... Hold on. We didn't even check out the other rooms above because I was yapping. Hold on. See if there's anything up here. Over here. I really feel like I need some sort of motor oil. That over there. Ooh, money. Money. You guys ever seen that crab video? It's just a bunch of crabs jumping around. They're like, money. Super good video. Extraordinary video. What is this? Steering wheel. I feel like I can sell stuff because I'm getting a lot of stuff. Put this in the bag. Grab this. I'm thinking I'm gonna put all my stuff that I eat in here. Except for that one can of sardines that I have. Now, which way were we coming from? That way, right? Alright, let's turn this on. Bro is not crab. It's not a crab that owns a fast food place where the place looks like a crab trap. How does he know? But yeah, I think this is a helpful book for just for life, right? We'll see how it goes. We'll see by the end. I'll give you my personal opinion. You can give me your personal opinions whenever if we finish this. Oh, should we go straight or go left? Should we go straight or left? You guys think straight or left? Well, you guys decide. I am going to read the next section. So, there are many great resources on mindfulness, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. I highly recommend reading the following books: Radical Acceptance and the True Refuge by Tara Brach, and The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Here's the most important mantra I need you to repeat throughout this entire book. More body, less story. That's the mantra. More body, less story. The mind's default protective reaction is to focus on the story. More people dealing with trauma can repeat their story Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Oh, God. Second. Just gonna grab this. Don't worry about this. Okay, that made it worse. I'm cooked. Cooked. GG's. I didn't do anything for me. Okay, maybe over here. Water. Better? Oh, that was actually pretty good. Alright, anyways. That's fine. I'll give my most personal opinion on the book, and while I'm at it, my bank account, my full legal name, my IP address, everything. Give my personal opinion. No. Thank you. Alright, so many people dealing with trauma, can repeat their story a million times in the crystal clear detail. With mindfulness, we want to shift away from the story and start focusing on the sensations in our body. As we do this, we may try to create stories around the sensation. Parenthesis, quote, I must feel the sensation because of X happening in my childhood or because of Y relationship. End quote. And parenthesis. So yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens a lot whenever you. Did you guys choose left or right here? I'm gonna choose left. This left seems cool. That's definitely a thing that happens is whenever a relationship ends, whether it be your own friend or like you have a girlfriend or wife or whatever, whenever they, this person leaves your life, it might not even be their choice, right? They might die or they have to move or whatever, and for whatever reason they're not in your life. You start to build a narrative about why, right? And sometimes it's not anything about you. Sometimes it's literally just them. I mean, there might be instances where, maybe they didn't enjoy some pieces of being in that thing, but I believe the human experience is the good and the bad, really. Oh, that could have been bad. So it's the good and the bad, and most people don't, really put that together. They think it's all gonna be good all the time, every day. It's gonna be good. Right is always right. Left. This doesn't seem good. What is that? There's a rock over there. Okay. Do I know where we're going now? Good, the bad, and the ugly text. True. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like whenever you go through enough troubles, I guess, or heartache or whatever you want to call it. Ooh, bunker. Get over here. Secret bunker. W bunker. All right, let's read the next passage. Whenever you get into a new relationship, just know that it's not always good. It's not always going to be perfect every day. And I think knowing that you are also not going to be perfect every day is part of human experience. Anyways, next part. So the next part is, again, just use your mindfulness to become aware of the storytelling and begin making the slow move toward body awareness. In his book, The Way of the Human, Volume 2, Stephen Walensky even goes so far as to write, quote, "The story as to why you feel what you feel is not important. When you get into explanations, stories, reasons, or justifications of, quote unquote, why, then you are splitting off from the experience itself." And it says down here, splitting refers to the unconscious failure to integrate aspects of self or others into a unified whole. So, failing to see the entire picture, I guess. Relationship, my dark soul, single forever, baby. Well, not after this book. Not after this book. You'll be A-okay, brother. I don't know. Actually, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. We'll see. So, the story comes after the experience, and it is a justification and a distraction. You cannot think your way out of a false core, false self, because it is doing the thinking. Your mind is driven by it. End quote. I want to be clear that telling your story after trauma and abuse can be very important and therapeutic. In doing this work, We are not in any way pretending that the story wasn't real or that we are lessening its impact. We are simply trying to explore why the mind latched so hard onto this particular story and what it is trying to protect us from. So that's good. I think, and we're at a bunker. Crazy timing. Crazy timing. So this bunker is your feelings. This is the protective self. What's inside the bunker is what you're trying to protect. And I think that's your sense of, maybe, I don't know. What do you, I think for myself, what I'm protecting is my inner child. I think that, whenever I was growing up, I didn't have like a lot of friends. I mean, I did have like some friends, but like, you never know, dude. Like with people, I should probably drink this, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. Just put this in here. That's good. It's fine. Should I take this container? Wait, what is this? That's a water container. Okay, almost died. Almost died for no reason. But, you never know. Fallout reference. Yeah. But you never know. With like people, there's so many uncertainties and so much that doesn't make sense, that you think people are your friends, and then something happened, and it's unresolved, and you want to get away from that self destructive nature. But what do I know? Anyways, let's go to personal responsibility. And then there's a quote here. It says, "If you can't handle me at my worst, I really commend and respect you for setting healthy boundaries for yourself." Deaf Stone. We cannot control how others think, feel, or perceive us. We cannot spend our energy saving or fixing others. And likewise, we cannot expect others to save or fix us. We are the only ones capable of doing that for ourselves. We can seek therapy and or support, but no one else is responsible for our feelings except us. This perspective guides us toward wholeness as an independent, loving human being. A guiding principle will help you through this work. And then it says, "My feelings are my own responsibility. The feelings of others are their own responsibility." Now, that's not to say that your actions, you have no responsibility over your actions. What you can definitely do something wrong, but to say that, what's the example? Okay, so let's say I tell a joke, right? And you don't like the joke. If you tell me that you don't like the joke and it made you feel some type of way about it, it makes you feel angry, sad, and I could apologize, right? Or what happens sometimes is that people say, "I'm sorry that you feel that way," rather than "I made you feel that way. I did not mean to make you feel that way." And I have this problem too. Is that, sometimes I just don't care. There's definitely those people that I really don't. I really couldn't care what you want. But that's not really healthy, is it? It's not really a good thing to do. But that's what I think that's supposed to mean, is that, you take responsibility for yourself. Even in those, don't think that person didn't come to that conclusion some type of way, right? And if you can't, God, sweet princess. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. All right, next part. Some mental illnesses are caused by chemical imbalances that require medications to stabilize. This is not true for personality disorders or the people they hurt. These conditions are the result of our minds and bodies doing mental gymnastics to avoid intolerable pain. Really? I didn't know that. Is it really? I don't know. If you think if that's not true, let me know. How many parts are there? There's a good bit. There's a good bit. This is definitely not going to be a one and done. I'm just doing this till I get bored. Really? Does that mean? Or till my melatonin kicks in. Some mental illnesses. Oh, right. I already read that part. The main issue. This is the next part. The main issue is that we're expecting our external world to change, and then we'll be happy. The codependent just needs to rescue one more person. The perfectionist just needs to accomplish one more thing. The cluster B relationship survivor just needs to see their ex's new relationship fail. The borderline just needs a knight in shining armor to offer infinite sympathy for their pain. And the avoidant just needs to invent some more imaginary characters. Then we'll all be happy. So try it from another angle. The heroin addict just needs a little bit more heroin. Then they'll be happy. That's completely nonsense. So why aren't the above examples also nonsense? If we truly want love and connection, we need to go through the hard work and pain required to change ourselves. So, all right, let's get the rest of this bunker stuff. And then we can go to the next part and read the next part of the story. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. There's definitely, I think I'm more of an avoidant feel. Oh wait, I actually do need these extra. But yeah, I just need to do one more thing. I'm not a perfectionist because I don't really care about accomplishments. Flare, what the heck? What do I do with the flare? Ooh, black spray. All right, that's it for this one. But yeah, I have that same thing where it's just like, I just want to do one more cool thing, or like one more thing, and it'll be fine after that. Then I'll be happy. And it's not, what am I painting? Hello? Am I not close enough? Why is that taking so long? Close do I have to be? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That away. I'm going in. Alright, let's read the next part then. Since we're in a dust storm. Okay. Where were we? Some mental illnesses, yep. Okay. Okay, that's complete nonsense. If we truly want love and connection, we need to go through the hard work and pain required to change ourselves. Next page. We live in a world where people want others to validate and accept them for exactly who they are. Once again, external validation will not make you any happier. We can't just end our journey at, quote, I have this issue, accept me the way I am, end quote. It's not the world's job to do that. And if you go down that route, you're likely to end up disappointed. Along these lines, personal responsibility is asking that your personal happiness be based on you, only you. It has nothing to do with how others have treated you or how you have treated them. It is asking you to switch the focus from external measures of worth to internal ones. It is asking you to believe that the most important thing in the world right now is recovering your own ability to love. Which is true, I think. I think that is, if everyone in the world fixed themselves, then everyone could be happier, right? So by you fixing yourself, you are actually helping the entirety of the world, because you are affecting everyone else. Like, you know how people say that laughter is contagious? You know how people say that? I think that's true. We were driving that way, so we're driving this way. Gotcha. And I think that's the same of, like, people. Like, I talked to this guy, and he was just, I know for sure that anger and, like, you know, hate and all that is also infectious, but I feel like being kind is also a sort of infectiousness, but in a good way. You know, it makes you see the good in people. Because I know I've definitely felt the opposite before, where it's like, do I have lights on this? Do I have lights on this? Oh, I do have lights. Oh, let's go. Where am I? Hello? I don't know where I am. That's fine. We're not supposed to know where we are. You're only supposed to keep going, or whatever. I don't know. I was supposed to say something. It's supposed to be something cool, but obviously here we are. But yeah, let me read another passage. Where? Huh? Oh. Oh, so I can come back this way. Oh, cool. It just took me around that spot over there. All right, let me get a little bit further, and then we'll read the next part. But yeah, be nicer to yourselves when you're trying to be better. Just know that you're at least trying. I mean, it's, you know, also accept that you're making mistakes, but don't crucify yourself for those mistakes. Like, everybody has done that. And if you think that no one has ever made the mistake that you have, then, you know, maybe assess that. Because everybody's made a mistake of some sort. Big and small. All right. All right, next part. So where were we? We were unconditional love. Okay. Before I lose all of my skeptical, atheist, or agnostic readers with God talk, I want to be clear that this does not need to be a spiritual endeavor. I grew up without any spiritual background and considered myself agnostic for most of my life. So let's start with a more logical and scientific approach to unconditional love, which is very good, because whatever you believe in is fine. The mind, parenthesis, especially the ego, end parenthesis, has a negative bias. It is scientifically proven to be wired that way to protect us, often activated after traumatic situations. However, we're not running away from lions in jungles anymore. So that old writing is really no longer helpful to us. We have these wonderful brains that can learn from mistakes and make future adjustments without activating the old run away from the lion mode. When we sit there ruminating, having anxiety, obsessing, shaming, and blaming, we are spending our hours and days on negative thoughts, parenthesis, 90% of which likely never come to fruition, end parenthesis. Negativity has accidentally become our religion. We're so convinced it's truth because that's what the mind wants us to think. We're taking the mind's placebo. We're stuck in it and not even aware of it. We worry so much that believing in something positive is just tricking ourselves, when in fact, our skepticism and fear are already playing right into the mind's trick. The mind convinces us that the negative stuff is the ultimate reality, and anything else is just fluffy nonsense trying to distract us from the reality. And we fall for it almost automatically. Mission accomplished. That is so true, brother. That is so true. Being pessimistic or negative does definitely seem like the more logical way to go about things, because I still do this. I still don't understand how to fully get rid of this thought. I still don't understand how to get rid of some of this that thought of, this thing is bad. Why is this bad? Like, whenever I go out, for example, when I go out to a concert, right? I go out to the concert and I do not enjoy being out there because I feel like it's, waste of money. It's like, I don't know. It's very hard for me to spend money on myself unless there's like someone or something else I could do. Oh my god, what the heck? Oh, yes. Unless there's somebody else with me, right? So that's my thought process, is to try and give myself a break. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we can't. Oh, we can just carry this whole thing. Peak book. Yep, that's fine. Just keep that there. I don't need this. But yeah, I definitely have those anxieties as well. Just, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Do I deserve this? Which, obviously no one really deserves anything, right? Because deserving is a human construct, right? To deserve something is the narrative, right? Like that part of the book where you need to take away the story part of it and just focus on the feeling. And it is very helpful so far. Other than that one thing with the personality disorders, I'm agreeing with a lot of it. Can I light this fire? Ooh, pate. Cat food. Love it. Little snacky snack for later. Alright, off we go. Alright, let's go to the next area. Wait, can I sleep here? Actually, maybe I can sleep here. Okay, let's read the next one before we leave. Alright. So we worry so much that believing in something, yeah, there it is. Fall for it automatically. Okay. Happiness and freedom come from learning how to non-judgmentally notice these tricks of the mind. Noticing it's a negative bias. Noticing it is scoffing at the idea of something positive. The more we quote unquote notice, the easier and easier it becomes to experiment with unidentifying with it. Again, this doesn't have to be a spiritual thing. You could practice it purely as a scientific endeavor. Here's my hypothesis. If you try noticing and unidentifying with your mind's negative bias, you may eventually discover some wonderful and calm sensations replacing the tension and agitation in your body. As that happens, you may notice that your thoughts naturally become softer too. You may find it easier to bond with others, make friends, let go of resentments, and enjoy your life. See, it's true. That's a hard one to do, to get rid of that negative bias. To try and connect with a person you essentially don't know. Trying to connect with anybody that you really don't know is super hard, because you automatically get me personally, I automatically get a notion that, oh, they're not gonna like me, or whatever it might be, right? Whatever thought I give it, like, oh, they just, they're too busy or whatever. And sometimes it's true. Like, you definitely will get those people that don't necessarily want to be a friend or some sort of partner of some sort, like, or relationship with you at some point. But that doesn't mean that it's all you, right? And that's what I think is good about this, going through this. There was a quote from I don't remember, I think it was a movie or something, where this lady, she says that, I know it was a girl, I don't remember why I remember it, but I remember it, that there was a girl, and she said that I don't take anything personally, I just act, if you don't tell me, then that's the personal responsibility thing. It's not my job to monitor your feelings, right? It's not my job to say, oh, you feel this way, so I should back off or figure out what it is before you even tell me, is what I got from it. And I think that it really helps to not put the negative bias until somebody says something, and even then they might not even mean it in the way that you're feeling, because like text message, like with a lot of people, text message is such a hard thing to convey the right feeling. Oh no, how do I get over there? Hold on. How do I get over there? Interesting. Okay, we're going over there. We're going to read another passage real quick of the book. All right. So what is the thing? Where is it? Okay, find it easier. Okay, so you're not pretending bad things don't happen. You're not living in fairyland pretending everything is wonderful. You're not loving nasty people and hugging strangers. You're simply unidentifying with the part of your mind that says, quote, bad things are happening to me. My life is unfair. I am being betrayed and let down. Quote, you can still notice bad things happening and protect yourself, but these negative thoughts just don't have anything to, quote, land on, end quote, anymore. The inner victim and ego begin to dissolve. To be honest, I'm only concentrating on the wobbly guy. Wobbly guy. Which wobbly guy are you talking about? Anyways, let me go to the restroom real quick. I really have to pee. 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm gonna pee so bad. Okay, I'm back. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, there's a big part coming up. So let me get over here. We're at the motel. All right. All right, next part. Where was I? Desperate to find some peace. Didn't read that one. The stories we tell ourselves matter. Our bodies listen to and react accordingly. And the cool thing is that awareness and consciousness allow us to choose which stories we tell ourselves. We are the masters of our own destiny. Our default programming is quote unquote negative stories. But as soon as we're aware of this, we have the power to start changing it. Choosing to follow negative thoughts of shame, paranoia, and fear is just as quote unquote real or quote unquote fake as choosing to follow thoughts of love, forgiveness, and freedom. The difference is one set feels like garbage, whereas the other feels very nice. If we can go with the former, we're deciding to let our mind trick us into misery, which rationally and logically is a goofy thing to do. He said goofy, yeah. We have a very limited time here on this earth, especially if you don't believe in any sort of afterlife. So the most logical thing to do is to enjoy that short time as much as possible. Okay, skeptics may now skip to the next chapter because the rest of this one is likely to produce some eye rolls and sighs. All right, well. Oh, this one, it changed it. It says finding unconditional love. So I'm guessing we're going to go into religious talk soon. So, I mean, I personally don't believe in this. I do believe in something. I don't believe that we as humans, as the small ions of little dust particles in the galaxy, are really even can comprehend anything like this, like what I feel. But you know, you do you. You believe in what you believe in. It's fine. As long as you don't make it other people's problems. That's fine. I don't care. But let's see what the person says, the author. In the late summer of 2016, the feeling in my heart was getting worse and worse, and despite my putting more effort into it than ever before, all of my old hope and optimism had been replaced by fear. Every morning I woke up from the middle of the nightmare, covered in sweat, heart squeezing, and feeling like the world was closing in on me. Desperate to find some peace, I took a long weekend to visit the White Mountains in New Hampshire. There is a beautiful trail that follows a waterfall to the top, and you can climb right into the water. I've always loved being in or around water. It has a calming effect on me. So this seemed like the perfect getaway. But even in the most peaceful place, the feeling in my heart worsened. The nightmares continued. I left feeling more drained than when I arrived. And that is depression. That is 100% depression. When you can feel alone in a full room, that's your depression right there. It's that funny feeling. Oh, that funny feeling. There it is again. Put that on there. I'm just gonna bring everything to the middle. So where's the wobbly guy? The wobbly guy. Oh, the Hawaiian, what are those called? The hula dancers? Is that what they're called? I don't remember. It's been a while. All right, let's read the next passage. Okay. So, but even in the most peaceful place, it worsened. Yes. As I was driving, sorry, just to interrupt. I think it's because you don't feel like you deserve it, right? And so you yourself are suffering because you feel like you don't deserve it. You think it should go to someone else, which I have definitely felt before. I felt like I should be somewhere not there, not having fun, not doing this, not doing that because of that thing that we were talking about, where you give yourself this narrative of negative feelings because you believe yourself a different way. And it's so stupid. It's so stupid to do that to yourself. Anyways. But I mean, it's very human. All right, where were we? Let's see. Okay. As I was driving home, I felt hopeless. If I couldn't feel peaceful there, how could I feel peaceful anywhere? There was something seriously wrong with me, and it was only getting worse. The hurt feeling would never go away. I had a problem with no solution. I was broken. I was listening to some horrible rap song from my sister's playlist when I suddenly felt a presence smiling kindly. Okay, see. And reaching her hands out, beckoning for me. She was so loving and beautiful, nodding encouragingly as I doubted her. She didn't care that I doubted her. To her, there was no such thing as broken, quote unquote. She loved me completely as I was, heart feeling and all. And suddenly the long constricted feeling in my heart melted away into softness I hadn't known in years. You have to understand this was all very confusing to a lifelong agnostic. My logical, analyzing brain quickly took over again and concluded that I had finally gone insane. It was only a matter of time. And as I regained mental control of the situation, the familiar tight feeling in my heart came back. Quote unquote, I thought to myself. Quote, so my heart likes being loved. It doesn't like being analyzed and judged and treated like a lab rat. End quote. Weird. From that point forward, unconditional love became the foundation upon which I based my healing. It is what I meditated on, trusted fully, turned to for guidance. It is what got me from quote unquote thinking love to quote unquote feeling love, which my body was very resistant to. It softened me so that I could experience the truth in my body without fear or control. So whether it's Jesus, God, Allah, the universe, essence, love, spirit, mindfulness, or a guy named Tom, doesn't matter what you call it. As long as you go through this work, you need to find a source of unconditional love, because the whole point is that you're not correctly experiencing love right now. So many of these conditions are being locked inside a protective world, thinking you know how to love, but failing over and over again. Building a relationship with unconditional love allows you to get out of this mindset. This is not the higher power we ask for help on our homework, or to win a football game, or to confirm our political beliefs. This is the source that we ask for love when we are unable to feel it ourselves. It is always willing to give love. It is always there for us, especially when we stumble. Now, I feel like this... How long is this? What do you mean? I'm okay. Imagine there's 10 parts to the book, right? 10. We are on part 1, pretty much. But I mean, we're not going to do it all today. We're just going to do it till I get tired, and then we're done. Then we can maybe do it a different day, and grow together, as you will. gonna throw that in the middle of the thing. Part 1, so no progress. I mean, I've gotten a couple of good ideas just from that. Hello? Oh, okay. There's a back window there. Okay, anything in here? Nothing. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I like it. I like going through this with you guys. It's an interesting thought. Oh, ow. Heck. What the freaking Sigma? Ow, what the freaking Sigma? Get me in there. Nothing in here. There's literally nothing. Why did I come in here for? Nothing. Again with nothing. Is there something behind this? No. Alright, whatever. But what I was going to say is the God part, I think you can just replace with the, the thought that unconditional love is something that we can give ourselves. I was going to say it's like our trust in humanity to, do the right thing, but that doesn't work. I think you should, if you want to replace the God part or the higher being, you can think about your own preservation. You yourself need love to go on, I guess. I mean, you don't, right? Like, there are definitely people that do go on, but to live an authentic self, I think. Can I go? Wait, how do I? Oh, am I trapped in here? Oh no. Oh no. No, we good. Did it. Okay, alright, I did it. Alright, everything else is so chill. I'm gonna go over here. Or we'll read another part. Alright. Now where are we? A lot of times people have become stuck on an idealized view of the love that they have, which is more about romantic obsession, saving or rescuing, self-sacrifice, attention, and sympathy. They repeatedly seek out this quote-unquote love from other people, thinking if someone else just reciprocates it, then they'll finally be happy. But of course it never is enough, because the issue is internal, not external. So this is instead about exploring a different type of love, one that has nothing to do with other people, is more calming and lighthearted. Steal a piece? What are you talking about? Bro is unhinged. Oh, God. It's hard talking in the desert. All right, let's see. Let's check out these real quick. What is this? Typewriter? What the heck? You freaking Sigma? Oh. Yes. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, ooh. How many can I put in my pocket? 5. Let's go. Ooh. Beautiful. Who's this? Walter, they took the colas. All right, sorry. I know somebody might be listening to this as a podcast. Listen, don't worry about this. Don't worry about what's happening. Don't worry. All right, Walter. Where are we? Okay. This might not come naturally to you, and that's fine. All I'm asking you is to be open to it, because you'll need it. If you think it's stupid or silly, ask yourself one simple question. Is what you're doing working? If you want to try a spiritual approach, just imagine a white light always dancing above you, smiling as he, she, it watches over you on this journey. Maybe he, she, it is shedding some tears of joy, excited that you're starting this journey, nodding encouragingly for you to continue. Start there and see what happens as we move forward. I think that is also a good way to look at it. Instead of maybe ethereal, it's maybe a past self. The self that you wish that could be happy again, you know? A more innocent self. The one who reads. Walter, why are you reading the whole thing again? You're supposed to sell crystals. Helping the family. Isn't Walter White's the whole thing is because he was diagnosed with like cancer and he has to pay for it? I thought that was the whole thing, but maybe I'm wrong. What's going on? All these appliances, nothing to apply. Literally nothing in here. Why did I come in here? Alright, whatever. Walter! We hit the jackpot. What is this? Health kit. We may need that. Are we going to a... Where are we going? Oop. Another passage. I am the one who reads. But I think he wanted to help his family instead before he does. Maybe. I never watched Breaking Bad. So, I mean, you could tell me it was about him starting a burger business, calling it Walter Whoppers or something. I don't know. I would believe you. I wouldn't. Maybe. All right. But yeah. So let's go to the next part. Okay. So the goal here is to move from thinking love to feeling love. You do not need to do anything to receive it. If your higher power convinces you to change your job or reconcile with an abusive ex or find a new relationship or accomplish a new project or be used as a justification for discrimination or otherwise mistreating others, that isn't a higher power. That is your ego enabling itself in the name of God. You could try to sit right where you are without moving a muscle and feel it flood through your body, knowing that you are loved and accepted for who you are right now in this moment. So God, I think in this regard, in this context, is used as self-love, right? So you yourself, that's a self-worth, and you believe yourself to be worthy of love. I mean, even though, you have like definite mistakes that you've made. Well, can I open this? What did I just see? I thought I just saw something. Oh, a light beer. What the heck? What the freaking heck? With the Sigma? Alright. I think we're done with the motel. Going to that. We're going to that tunnel over there. Over here. Actually, I don't need that in here. Put that in there. Go. Close that. I'm sure that's going to be fun when we open that. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Next part. I may have or may not have lost the part. 1 second. From that point forward. Okay, so there goes a move thing. You trace it right. Okay. Unconditional love is not, quote, I receive love if I do good things, end quote. That is conditional love. If we received conditional love from a parent or partner, then it is natural to also start seeking this same conditional love from a higher power. We think if we do everything right or sacrifice ourselves enough or heal enough or apologize enough or whatever enough, then we will finally receive the love. We'll finally be let back in. We may view this higher power as a punitive figure or something to be feared. Imagine if your partner said, quote, bow down before me and admit all your wrongdoings, end quote. You wouldn't call that love, right? Hopefully not. We need to shift away from this mentality and explore a new type of love, one that may not have been experienced before. Unconditional love says, quote, I am loved even, and then in parentheses it says, especially, in parentheses, when I stumble, end quote. For someone recovering from a cluster B relationship, this means offering yourself love when you obsess over your ex or check their Facebook page. For someone with borderline personality disorder, this means, okay, so let me back up a little bit. Hi, Mr. You Hi Babos. Yo, what up, Heart? Hi, Heart. he just spelled it backwards. So what cluster B is you're trying to see the downfall of whatever your ex was, right? Or whoever that is. Because you think that they shouldn't find love without you. And that is not healthy. But I think everybody that does think that kind of knows that. But, if you don't, who knows? All right. So for someone with borderline personality disorder, this means offering yourself love when you have an episode of rage. For someone who with CPTSD, this means offering yourself love when you get lost in fantasies of revenge or justice. Right. It does not mean that those things are healthy. It does not mean you should encourage yourself to keep doing those things. It does not mean that you are excused from harming others without consequences. It does not mean you should expect others to feel sorry for you as you work through this process. It's simply an internal recognition that these behaviors of someone who is suffering and punishing yourself for what will only drive you deeper into the very condition you are trying to escape. So the bucket, I feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for who? The lady? But yeah, it's a lot of blah 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 in this game. I'm reading a book. It's just the book is blah blah blah. It's teaching you how to accept your love, I guess, and how different mindsets can alter that, and try and figure out what the best course of action is for yourself. Did we just get to another part in the game? He's reading a famous book. I don't know about that. I don't know. He's teaching you how to be the most smart. No, I'm not. I'm teaching you how, or I am not teaching you anything. I'm just reading a book, and I'm just giving you my thoughts of the book. Let's get out of the tunnel, and then we'll read the next part. I'm liking it so far. It's interesting. Glad you guys are enjoying it a little bit. Let's go this way. It's not going to be for everyone. I just wanted to read it and figured that maybe somebody else would want to listen to it. Really it. Alright, so we made it out. Oh, Pables is reading to us. And we're both learning, you and I, are learning how to love yourself and accept it. Maybe we can all be happier. Who knows? So, let's see, what is the next part? So, what did we go over the last one is that you can make mistakes, but it does not excuse you of those consequences. But make sure to forgive yourself for doing those things, but also, take responsibility for those. So, next part is we find wholeness by restoring balance, pouring less energy into the mind and more into the body and spirit. The body is filled with extremely painful emotions: guilt, shame, rejection, and fear. Many of these were numbed to protect us before the fracturing. As we ask our bodies to begin experiencing these emotions, now, parenthesis, slowly, we realize that it is too much for any person to hold. Slowly is end parenthesis as well. This is where this is where spirit or unconditional love comes back into play. Your spirit only wants joy and love for you, removing any other obstacle to that goal. It is merciful and forgiving even if you can't feel it right now. Most people are born with this intact, and they do not need to be spiritual to experience it. It is just the innate sense of being good, having purpose, and joy for no external reason. Children raised in a healthy, loving environment are likely to be connected to their spirit, regardless of whether or not they were brought up in a religious setting. Hold on. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm sick. I have depression issues. Loving me isn't easy. Well, this is so that you can love yourself. And eventually that external love will come to you. Blessed to you. Thank you. To be connected to their spirit regardless of whether or not they were brought up in a religious setting. Just like children raised in a shaming, judgmental religion are likely to be disconnected from their spirits. A college student could go out drinking and partying every night, scoff at the notion of spirituality, never pray in their life, and be connected to their spirit. They feel no shame or inherent badness, quote unquote, about themselves. They're whole even if they're treating their body like crap. Meanwhile, a spiritual person could abstain from all of those things, dedicate their life to helping others, and still feel like they are not, or they are, quote unquote, not enough. They are disconnected from their spirit. This disconnect happens when a message gets planted inside. Now, the word spirit is, interchangeable with unconditional love, is what they're saying. So if you hear spirit and you don't believe in spirit, you can just say unconditional love, which is what I'm doing. So the disconnect happens when the message gets planted inside of us that makes us feel separate from unconditional love. Certainly the conditions discussed in this book often lead us to be, quote, disconnected, end quote, from our spirit. And usually the problematic message has been numbed out. I put, quote unquote, disconnected in quotes because we are not truly disconnected, just harboring a false belief that makes it seem that way. And from there, everything else is really just an attempt to compensate for that original separation from the conditional love from our true selves. We think that we can just do X, then we will reconnect, which is the whole thing. Mr. Unknown has been disconnected from reading time. But he's not really. Alright. Spirit we're almost done with this part. Spirit unconditional love is simply part of ourselves that nurtures us for no logical reason. If you become disconnected from it, it always will try to find its way back to you. So maybe unconditional love isn't what it is, like, literally. Maybe it's the will to survive, really, to get back up when we try and fail. That will is maybe the unconditional love. I could be wrong though. Parenthesis, something in very uncomfortable ways, on parenthesis, or end parenthesis, because it is who you truly are. As we start, wait, what? If you become disconnected from it, it always tries to find its way back to you, sometimes in a very uncomfortable ways because, the spiritual self part. As we start, or the unconditional love. As we start to see how hard this loving force is working for us, we begin to remember that what heartfelt love feels like. The heart is the gateway between the fractured parts of ourselves, and it is our key home. W narrator. W dub. Miss Never back down, never what? Yes. That's what's happening. As we start to see how this loving force is working. Okay, right. So we finished that part. All right, part 2. Identifying the protective self. All right. And when our true selves are rejected, betrayed, or abused by a trusted loved one, parenthesis, usually parent or partner, on parenthesis, and we don't yet have the emotional tools to heal, it's common for a protective self to form. Now, also, you can't heal if you can't identify it. So that's also what's happening. There was another book that, I mean, you can also yourself do some research into different, like, toxic relationships and kind of find out how to figure out what your problem is, right? So it's this person's being toxic in this way, or this is toxic in this way, something like that. But this is what we're reading now, is how to move forward with fixing that problem. So let me get to the next part. Let me get to the next part in the game, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's basically what it is. That's all we're doing. Trying to make ourselves, hopefully, by the end of this, we'll, fix that little part of us that tells us we don't deserve the love that we get. Looks like there's some buildings coming up here. All right. Make ourselves worthy for the opponent. Soon our battle will be legendary. Exactly what's happening. All right. So, when our true selves are rejected, betrayed, or abused by a trusted loved one, and usually parent or partner, and we don't yet have the emotional tools to heal, it's common for our protective self to form. The protective self sees itself as separate from the others, becomes more of an observer of the world rather than an authentic participant. The protective self is usually seeking external validation for proof of its worthiness. To save or be saved. To fill a void it cannot express. To meet an old unmet need. It is largely based around control. This is one of the most difficult things to understand, and it's where we really need mindfulness to see what's going on. To truly see our own behavior. To protect the protective self has probably had the reins for a long time. It's just your natural way of thinking at this point. It is, quote, who you are, end quote. You can't work on something that you're not even aware of. Which, so true, bestie. So true. So true. Yeah, I think that is a very good point. If you've been living with this, narrative of yourself for so long, you probably even don't even know that that's a problem. You probably think it's completely rational that you don't believe in yourself to deserve this, right? Listen, I mean, it's an interesting topic. Everyone wants love, so we're gonna try and figure it out together. Who knows? Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We have to finish the book, though. I bought it. All right. So, to unlearn that part, right? To unlearn that we are not part, or to participate rather than put on this protective covering, right, for us to then express ourselves in the world and participate. That's what this next passage is going to be referencing. So this is one of the most difficult things to understand, and it's where we really need mindfulness to see what's going on, to truly see our own behavior. The protective self has probably had the reins for a long time. Oh, we already did that. Or we already said that. It's the next part. There it is. The protective self convinces us that there is nothing wrong with us, that we figured it all out. It says, quote, the problem was caused by external events, and the solution will be found in external things, end quote. It is often disguised in an innocent, childlike confidence, cheerful, victimized, and heroic way. This illusion keeps us stuck in the same patterns. While it's true that there's nothing inherently, quote-unquote, wrong with us, and then in parenthesis, in fact, this is the entire point of the book, end parenthesis, the protective self is blocking us from experiencing the wounded feelings that actually need to hear the message. Here's how the protective self works. The wound is unfelt, blocked by the protective self. It takes an incredible amount of energy to maintain this makeshift solution. Since the inner world is damaged, the protective self keeps itself alive through external measures of worth, accomplishments, relationships, money, status, appearance, attention, people-pleasing, being overly quote-unquote nice, sympathy, sex, perfectionism, obsessing about an ex, stalking, approval seeking, alcohol, caffeine, drugs, grandiose fantasies, revenge fantasies, social media, blame, saving others, being saved, and resentment. Parenthesis, do any of these sound familiar? End parenthesis. When we tell the protective self over and over again, quote, I'm fine, I'm good, end quote, the wounded inner core doesn't hear or feel that. It's just the protective self growing stronger and stronger as this wound fades into numb obscurity, an invisible status quo. Traditional self-help techniques don't really work because our bodies have blocked us from feeling the parts of ourselves that actually need help. Feeling quote-unquote good is more about maintaining a high, not deeply feeling authentic joy, which is so true. So true, bro. Feeling true joy is crazy. Like, man, I wish I would have discovered therapy long ago. I mean, even now I don't really have all of the tools as they said in the book yet, because like I do still feel myself not enjoying things to where I want to, you know. I want to enjoy things because I am one of the agnostics, or, you know, non-believers. I believe that we only have a certain time here with each other, and I would like to, you know, enjoy it while I'm here. I just woke up and I feel like I'm on the other planet. How did I feel? But alive. Bro just ended up here ethereally. Something brought you here. All right, next passage. All right, so disordered thinking is the next part. External measures of worth, and it has like a circle, and then it has a heart and a like zigzag through the middle, or well, it's like the top left to the bottom right is more like it. It's not through the middle. Like a comic laughs, but are they really happy? Joy isn't laughing. I had to learn the difference when I was younger. People just don't know how much life is important. People who want to end their lives don't know that they will never enjoy pizza again. The true travesty. The true travesty is pizza. So there's a circle, and then above the heart it says protective self. And then where the little zigzag in the heart is, it says wound. So this is the disordered thinking. So this is why we feel unfulfilled by relationships, passions, and other important aspects of life. Sure, there may be an initial excitement, parenthesis, or obsession, end parenthesis, about a new endeavor, but it inevitably fizzles out. Because even when we get exactly what we want, it's all just hitting a protective shield. It is not reaching our true selves. So it never feels like, quote unquote, enough. This is also why you can almost expect any spiritual or healing practices to fail, because it's not even contacting the part of you that needs help. It's just feeding the protective self. It is used to another external measure of worth. Perfectionists use it to become what they think the ideal spiritual person should look like, eternally seeking to be, quote unquote, good enough for spiritual love. Codependents use it to dismiss their own needs and emotions, deciding they must rescue and help even more people in order to achieve selfless sainthood. Guys, I think I'm codependent. I have problems that seem to be taking light now, and I don't appreciate it. All right, narcissists use it to start cults and show others how worldly and wise they are. Borderlines use it to seek sympathy, a validation from a higher power for their poor decisions, and then feel betrayed when their decisions inevitably backfire. Avoidants use it to stay lost in their imaginations, viewing their own healing through the lens of invented characters. I think also I'm avoidant for sure. I don't know you. Yeah, we just say hi to whoever comes in. We don't need to know each other. Just hello as a person. All right, so the next part is observing the way in which we approach healing. Parenthesis, or healing exercises like therapy or forgiveness or meditation. It is a great shortcut to identifying our own protective self. For example, first bullet point, when codependents practice forgiveness, they may decide that means they need to take down all of their boundaries, trust everyone, and have beautiful tear-filled reconciliations with the people who harmed them. They may even feel the need to apologize to the people who mistreated them. Inevitably, they are betrayed or mistreated again, and then wonder how the world could be so unfair. True. I just spawned here. That's me avoiding. I don't even try to date. Maybe. I mean, if you feel yourself as someone or something that's mentioned, I mean, you could look into it. But I don't know. I think I have avoidant tendencies as well. But who knows? So when borderlines seek out therapy, they might constantly revisit parenthesis or invent end parenthesis sad sympathy stories. In conveying their lives as tragic play, they are accidentally seeking the therapist's validation and comfort. They will have quote-unquote breakthroughs and quote-unquote process each trauma, but never actually seem to feel better. And then next one is when those CPTSD meditate on the feelings in their body, they might try to they might try to quote unquote think their way out into these feelings. They use the protective tools they learned from their trauma, parenthesis, analysis, judgment, obsession, end parenthesis, in order to label the sensations that they cannot feel. Quote, I do X because of Y, so this feeling must be Z, end quote. By analyzing others and themselves, their protective self is still completely in control. Okay, so how do we examine that last one? So learn from their trauma analysis, judgment, obsession in order to label the sensations as they cannot feel. So they're having a blockage of some sort because they're doing the steps, right? So they're doing, I do this, I get this, I feel this, but they don't really feel it, is what I'm guessing. I don't know what that feels like, but I can imagine, because I think the only thing that really makes me imagine it is because of being like in a room. It feels like therapy. Maybe. Are you guys my therapist? But being in a room and then feeling like you're alone is something I felt. Like, you're supposed to feel this, right? You're supposed to feel this, but you don't. You don't ever feel it, and that's because of the shield that you put, your protective self. Drink the most coldest cup of water ever. Let's go. I don't want to be in therapy. Bro doesn't like growing as a person. Stephen Walensky writes, quote, "Any treatment to try to heal or transform a false conclusion is a treatment. Therapy or spiritual practice, which is organized by the false self based on believing false conclusion and hence can only yield a false treatment. Therapy or spiritual practice, because the therapy or spiritual practice is being driven by believing the earlier false conclusions and premises." End quote. So that means if you start something on the wrong foot, if you're doing something in the wrong way, it's the bucket and the ceiling method. So instead of fixing the leaking ceiling, you're just grabbing a bucket and then filling it up, throwing it out, getting another bucket, doing the same thing over and over and over. So that's what that meant. So how can we become aware of this tricky protective self and break through it once and for all? The two closest or clearest signs of the protective self are: 1, focus on external things, people. 2, a sense or compulsion that you need to, quote unquote, do something. Because you really don't need to do anything. And especially if you do feel like you need to do something, you need to examine that part of you. You should examine, why do I feel like I need to go talk to this person? Why do I feel like I should always be, trying to prove myself to this person or whatever, whatever that might be, because you don't need to do anything. And I think that's the problem. Whenever we have that feeling to need it, and we don't actually need it to survive. Some people call it passion, but when they do it and they get through it, they don't feel a happiness or a fulfillment. And that's what he's saying. So we've established that. Next part. It convinces you that if you, quote unquote, do this thing, or if someone else, quote unquote, does something, you'll feel good. It could be accomplishing another project, doing drugs or alcohol, spending money, seeking a relationship. The list goes on. You can tell when someone is stuck in the trance of protective self because they say things like, quote, "If I could just get that raise, perfect relationship, deal house, perfect body, then I'd finally be happy," end quote. The protective self wants you to, quote unquote, do. In this book, let me see. I'm encouraging you to stop, quote unquote, doing and instead sit with the deeply uncomfortable, frustrating sensations that arise when you don't take action. To notice when that urge kicks in, and we notice it. all we need to do is kindly decline what it wants us to do. There is really only one way to diminish... Oh, I moved the thing, sorry. There's really only one way to diminish the protective self. Stop feeding it. Instead, we need to feel what's there when we don't indulge it. But once again, the problem with protective selves is we usually don't even know we're stuck in one. Quote unquote. Or quote, you don't know what you don't know. And that's also in parentheses. Even as we're trying to analyze and heal, the protective self is still the thing doing the analyzing and healing. The faster we can gain this quote-unquote meta-awareness, the faster we can get started. So you need to find... What game are you playing? Off topic, just wondering. Oh, it's... Sorry. It's called Under the Sand. It's a cool game. It's just... All we do is we grab stuff, we go to the next part, grab stuff, go to the next part. That's all we do. And I think it's a good metaphor for what we're doing in life. We're all part of the... They replaces Pables with a Russian Pables. I'm a Russian Pables. What is up, gamers? What is this Groot as? Or no, not Groot. What's the guy named from Despicable Me? Gru, right? It's Gru? Gru? Okay. We'll finish. We'll stop in a minute. We'll give it like maybe 10 more minutes. 1 second. Let me... Yeah, Gru. 1 second. Let me get something real quick. Okay, I'm back. Apocalyptic type game? Don't mind the way I spelt it. I don't know. Yes, I think so. I think it is apocalyptic. Because there was like a sign earlier that said that the end is near or whatever. Judgment Day is here or something like that. Where is the water that I saw? Which one has more water? This one? Drink. Drop that. Eat. Some more. More canned food? Alright. Can we sleep here? Oh, I can. Close that. Alright, while we rest, I'm going to read another passage from the book. Alright. It convinces you. Alright. Encouraging you to stop doing... Oh, I'm done. I'm good. Space. Alright. So quiet. But this is a good metaphor, I think, for life. We're just in a desert by ourselves trying to get to the next place. Alright, next part. We're just going to finish this last part and then we'll finish stream here. So, there's really only one way to diminish the protective self. Well, how much is there of the chapter? Okay, there's 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Quick 8 hours, yeah. There's really only one way to diminish the protective self. Stop feeding it. Instead, we need to feel what's there when we don't. But once again, the problem, the protective selves, so we usually don't even know that we're stuck in one. Even as we're trying to analyze and heal, the protective self is still doing the analyzing. The faster we can get started. So, looking for patterns. I was just getting company with the reading. Looking for patterns. Patterns are a great way to start identifying the protective self. Imagine life is a movie that keeps repeating itself over and over again. So the characters do the same thing over and over again. It would be very boring to watch after a while. Now imagine the characters in the movie don't know they're in a movie. Instead, they are you, and they think the movie is reality. This is how protective selves work. They keep you stuck in a sort of infinite loop, constantly repeating and doing the same thing, unaware of what's really going on. So what is the role in this movie? What is your role in this movie? What storyline do you keep repeating? Are you the damsel in distress, always looking to be saved and rescued? Do you keep ending up in abusive, unfulfilling relationships? Are you constantly dating narcissists, addicts, and other selfish people? Are your days filled with endless drama and crisis? Do you always help people only to end up feeling unappreciated and resentful? Usually we play a part in this movie with other quote-unquote actors, protective selves, in parenthesis. If our role is the victim, then we will need to find a perpetrator and a rescuer. If our role is the rescuer, then we will need to find ourselves a victim to take care of. If our role is in an inability, I don't know why that took so long. The role is an inability to take responsibility, then we will need to find someone who takes responsibility for everything. If our role is obsession with control or power, then we will need to find someone who we can dominate. If our role is polite, selfless, listening friend, if our role is the polite, selfless, listening friend, then we will need to find someone who never stops talking. That makes sense. To start moving forward, we need to shift our perspective from the eyes of the character to the eyes of someone watching this movie. The characters will happily repeat these stories and roles until the end of time. The person watching this movie might instead explore why and how their characters do what they do, and eventually change the channel, turning away from this boring movie. Another important concept that Walensky describes is that, quote, all false cores reinforce themselves, end quote. They intentionally choose situations and people and thoughts that confirm their protective self's deepest fears, thereby justifying their own existence. For example, a codependent will continue to choose relationships and friendships with emotionally unavailable people, so the protective self can reinforce its belief that you are, quote unquote, never enough. People with borderline fear of abandonment, and then go on to do things that make people abandon them. So the protective self is keeping you stuck in a trance, setting you up for failure so it can stay in control. The following sections explore various ways to identify what's going on to help you examine your own behavioral patterns so that you can hit the pause button. Overlap is common. You might see yourself in more than one description. As I was saying, the avoidant, what was that first one? The first one is the first one is the person watching the movie. Another important concept, intentionally choose. Yes. So it's codependent. Codependent will continue to choose relationships and friendships and emotionally unavailable people, so the protective self can reinforce in the belief that you are never enough, which is that one. Codependency. So the following sections explore various ways to identify what's going on, help you examine your own behavioral patterns so that you can hit the pause button. Overlap is common, so you might see yourself in more than one description. So that's what I was saying. Avoidant and codependency is what I saw myself as. There really is there's no sound. Look, just that. That's all I got. It is like dead silent. I can't turn anything up. Look. I mean, I can turn the game up, but it would just turn on that. See, it's like... See? Yeah, there's nothing really doing there. All right, so I'll read the end of this page, and then we can... And never being enough reinforces my... Yep. So that's going to be the loop that you're in. See, you're getting it. Look at you. Look at you learning stuff. Remember, this awareness must be kind. Please do not judge or hate yourself if you recognize yourself in any of these vignettes. Nobody chooses to develop a protective self. It stems from very confusing and complex wounding. It was an old protective mechanism, and you are the path to heal it. This is not even who you are, so there is no sense in hating it. All that it does is lock you in further. Becoming aware of the protective self is the first step to healing. People often don't want to see themselves in these categories because they view these issues as an incurable life sentence or prove that they're defective or crazy. So they reject reality and learn to fake even more, driving them further away from the most authentic self. Parenthesis, which paradoxically makes them behave more, quote unquote, defectively. End quote. These conditions are all about avoiding a sense of inner defectiveness. So of course people are going to be hesitant to label themselves with something that seems defective. But rather than a label, I just think about it more as identifying with certain sets of behavior and thinking so that you can heal them. Pretending the problem isn't there will not solve the problem. I'm not asking you to take this on your identity. Quite the opposite, actually, in parenthesis. I'm asking you to acknowledge that there is a problem so you can finally go about fixing it. These things are not who you are. They are who the protective self is. For now, all you need is to become aware of your protective self and have faith that there's something better on the other side. We're just adding one very simple addition to the drawing above. So, the addition was the circle with the heart in it now has a bigger circle that says external measures of worth around it. So that's how I'm guessing we're going to break through the protective shelf shield so we stop feeding that loop and then we start healing. So there's like a lot more after this. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's a lot. So I think we're gonna end this one here. That's a good spot to end it. I'm going to quit. It's also very late for me. We can read some more tomorrow. You guys want? You guys like this? You guys like this new format of me reading to you guys? Okay, that fables. I hope you guys do. This is the book I'm reading, Whole Again by Jack MacKenzie. W book, W viewers, W chatters. What a game, what a game. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was an interesting experience. Nonetheless, whatever it is, I liked it. It's different. It's not horrible. Yeah, it's different, don't you think? I'm thinking about doing some different some different types of formats for stuff. So now here we are. It's like a solo podcast. It really is. It gives me something to talk about. Bro, no. No, I'm finna be back. Glad I woke up to this. Thanks for coming by. Hope you guys all enjoyed. But yeah, it's super late for me. I hope you guys join me for the next time so we can figure out what's wrong with ourselves. Know that it's not bad, that you're good. You deserve love. Everyone deserves love. You make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Have a good day, week, month, year. Bye.